India's silver imports are on course to nearly double this year. We have a developing story in the silver market, a story which could serve to reshape the entire landscape for the silver price. It has to do with India. It has to do with what I'll call a cartel in India that is sucking in all the world's silver. To make it even more interesting, it's being covered by mainstream media. Let's dig into this story and talk about how the price landscape for silver could be transformed in the coming months and years. You're probably not joining me from India, but from wherever you are, thank you for being here. You are important. Please leave a comment. Let us know what you think. We want to learn from you, and you can subscribe to the channel if you want to get a new piece of content every single day about the silver and gold market. Hey, look, it's big news when we have Reuters reporting a major story about silver out of India. What is this telling us when we view this story from the context of what's going on within the BRICS countries in general? India is just one small part of the BRICS, but a huge part of what's going on in the precious metals world. Look, we already know that Indian families have 25,000 metric tons of gold stored within their households. That dwarfs the 8,000 tons of gold that the United States supposedly has in Fort Knox. But when it comes to silver, India is doing something even more astonishing. If we go to Reuters, and I want to point out, this is a mainstream media story, silver is getting more and more attention from the mainstream. We see that India's silver imports are set to double on demand from solar and investment. And the investment part is what is even more interesting because we already know what's going on with solar demand. India's silver imports are on course to nearly double this year due to rising demand from solar panel and electronics makers. And as investors bet, the metal will give better returns than gold, leading importers said on Friday. Higher imports by the world's biggest silver consumer. Did you know that? I don't think I actually knew that. India officially, we've always called India, right? Basement dwellers, India, right? The precious metals capital of the world. But now we hear they're the world's biggest silver consumer, could give further support to global prices, which are close to their highest level in more than a decade. Let's remember that as well. The current silver price hovering just below $30 as I record this. That's decades high silver price. India imported 3,600 metric tons of silver last year. This is where it gets interesting. This year's purchases by India could rise to between 6,500 and 7,000 tons due to the rising industrial demand, said Chirag Thakkar, CEO of Amarapali Group, Gujarat, a leading silver importer. Do you realize how many ounces of silver that is? That is approaching 250 million ounces of silver, if my mathematics are indeed correct. And if they're not, please correct me in the comments. 250 million ounces of silver is nearly 30% of the world's annual production and output of silver. And remember, this is one small part of the BRICS nations, right? We're not even talking about China in this video and their silver imports. We're not talking about Russia. We're not talking about Brazil. We're talking just about India, and we're saying that they are going to import nearly 30% of the world's silver. What's this going to do to the silver price? What's this going to do to the silver deficit that the Silver Institute tells us we're deep into for the fourth year running? India's silver imports in the first half of 2024 jumped to 4,500 tons from only 560 tons a year ago. Quote, "There's a traditional demand for jewelry, People are also buying for investment purposes. This is where it gets very interesting. Now that the duty cut has made silver more affordable. That's what this Thakkar guy told Reuters on the sidelines of the India Gold Conference. Investment demand is a big part of what is driving this. I want you to think about something. It's a fact that the country of India, with their 1.4 billion people, will have more people, over 100 million, joining the consumer class within the next decade. This is going to be an unbelievable potential source of demand for silver. As these people gain wealth, gain discretionary income, what are they doing? We know that India loves their gold, but they're now in the early phases of a new love affair with what we've loved all along, which is silver. Thakkar concluded by saying that investment demand had been, quote, phenomenal in the first half of the year as Indian people bought silver anticipating that it would give them a better return than gold. If you want to get your hands on some silver, gold, or platinum group metals before the Indians take it all, you can go to channel sponsor Pimbex, Pimbex, Pimbex.com. You'll find what I found over the last year. They always have ultra competitive prices. They have great selection and a company you can trust. Also, I want to say thank you to channel sponsor First Mining Gold, Canadian gold developer with 2 multi-million ounce projects in Canada, and our friends at Fortuna Mining. They're a current operating, producing gold and silver mining company with operations in Latin America and West Africa. You can learn about all the sponsors. There's links in the description of this video. But is it just me? Or is it everywhere we turn, there's more and more good news, more and more factors pointing toward that we really could see a silver shortage. We could see a silver squeeze. Remember, we want to hear from you. Leave a comment in the comment section. If you don't agree with me, that's okay. That'll give us all an opportunity to learn. But most important, you be well, and we'll be looking forward to seeing you soon.